Yes, g'day everyone, welcome back. You're listening to Coast to Coast. It's West Coast only podcast talking about the 2022 season. Let's hope we got a couple of listeners still left on the show, and I think they'll probably come back. If they've had a spell, Oz, this is the week they're returning. What do you reckon?
I think so. Well, we've got a terrific guest sitting next to me right now, and a better performance on the weekend on field. I think off field, the man next to me will give us a lot of quality content this week.
Liam Duggan, what is happening?
How are you, mate?
Going well, boys. How are we?
Mate, I'm better for seeing your beautiful face.
Good on yours.
Talk to me about how you're going, big fella.
Going all right, mate. Yeah, as Thumper alluded to, it's been a tougher start to the year than most, but had our bye now when we played a good brand of footy on the weekend. So headspace is going well, and I think we've got some good things coming.
Let's talk by Duggo. What do you do to refresh, mate? What's your go-to pattern of move? Was it anything different this year?
In the bye?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, I actually stayed over in Adelaide and checked out the Adelaide Hills, the Barossa. Got a little bit of flavour up there, so that was nice. I'd never done that area, which was really good. Good to get out of Perth as well and chill out for a few days.
Solo?
No, I was with my partner Lauren, and Mum and Dad came for a couple of nights as well, so we sort of combined it, which was really nice.
Must be very, very nice, mate. We discussed ourselves when we were over there. Adelaide, an underrated city, like one of the better places we go travel to.
Great city, yeah. I think where we stay in the hotel as well sort of helps out, but it's a beautiful city, a lot going on. I think they do it really well in the heart of Adelaide there, and then as I said, got to explore a bit of the hills and the Barossa, and beautiful part of the world.
Is it Bunga the go-to, or like Bunga's not really a man of social aspects, so like you're backing the wrong horse there in terms of give me some good spots around Adelaide to be hitting Bung?
Yeah, I didn't really ask Bung where to go, but I did catch up. I did catch up with the Hearns for a quick cuppa, so that was good fun to see where Bunga grew up.
That's so adult of you.
Have you met Mr. and Mrs. Hearn before that or not?
I had, yes, briefly. So they were very accommodating.
Find that hard to believe. Not. Bunga's the nicest man of all time.
They were great, and Angus, beautiful little town where Bung's from, so very picturesque.
You behave yourself in the wineries, Doggo?
Yeah, I drove most of the time, mate. Yeah,
he's just a grown-up, isn't he?
Not a big wine man, so...
Well, the winery's probably one of the best option then, I reckon.
As I said, mate, the scenery was beautiful.
All right, Doug, I'm going to talk a little bit of footy before we get on to other just nonsense stuff. That was a good showing on the weekend. It must have been some great vibes heading in. You've got the MND sort of mini launch going on. We'll tackle that in a little bit, but the 92 celebrations going on. I heard talk, I think Rhett Bazzo spoke in the press conference. He had the 92 boys in the change rooms going on at the time. Talk to me about what the feeling was like. Oscar's offering me very little in this area, so this is why I have to bring in playing players.
The coach.
Yeah, the coach.
No, it was good. It was a good weekend. I know the result. We've got to be careful because we didn't win, which is what the ultimate goal is for us. But certainly there was a good vibe and buzz around the Oval. I think even driving in, I noticed it. It seemed to be a bit more hustle and bustle outside, and obviously the 92 boys were back, which was great, and to see them in the rooms. I don't know what it is, but you get something from that. Definitely to see those blokes, and even to get a wink or a thumbs up from them is awesome. So, yeah, I think with the bye included there, with the break that we had, and obviously a bit of personnel coming back too, and the health of our list just overall strengthening. It was a good weekend in terms of the way we were able to compete, and I think the club, it sounds like they put on a pretty good show as well with the MND mini freeze and all of that sort of stuff too. So it was a good weekend, albeit the result was still not what we want.
It's a funny one, that, and the point you make about, although we can't be too satisfied with a good result, and it's a fine line to teeter because it's definitely not something I've had to deal with, and yourself as well. Obviously, you got drafted into 2014.
Duggo come at the glory years, man.
Came in straight away into a grand final, and I'm the same on my first year. You boys won a flag, and I was being a part of the list since then. So it's never something we've had to deal with as a group, and particularly yourself and me probably in a developing stage of becoming leaders. How have you found the transition for, right, I'm really happy that young guys are developing and we played a lot better, but we didn't win. And normally in the rooms we'd be pissed off, like we'd be really angry, but it's finding the fine line between happy and sad on those occasions, really.
Yeah, and like you say, it's with the big losses, it's hard to find those happy moments and those, we spoke about little wins during those big losses, and those little wins might have been a stat here and there, or some young blokes getting some good games in and standing up for us. But I think on the weekend the difference was the 4-quarter effort that we can really build off. We see our brand and our identity start to show a little bit more, and we've obviously got a system that that we all back in. We just haven't been able to execute it over a long period of time. So that was a pleasing part about the Geelong match. And obviously, yeah, like we say, it's not a win, and that has been a challenging part for us. Definitely, Oz. I think, yeah, a little bit of how the group are going and feeling, and it's tough losing. Like, no one likes to do it, and as you say, it's something we haven't faced before. So learning on the fly a little bit at the moment, but certainly if we can produce what we did on the weekend, 3 goals sometimes is a skill error here and there. The ball bounced the right way or the wrong way. We put ourselves in those positions more, we'll be okay.
Did you know all the 92 blokes rolling around the change rooms? We almost pulling security in going, I'm not sure who this bloke is, but he's hanging around my locker and trying to talk to me. Can we get him out?
I'm pretty confident. I feel a bit bad. I wish I had a bit more connection with those blokes and was a little bit more on top, and be confident and go and actually, have a chat to all the boys and stuff. I was in the zone a little bit beforehand, but
not all of them are looking the same as they did in 92 on the old VHS, mate.
They're a fairly fit looking bunch still, I must say.
Not too many blowouts, eh?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's a good looking bunch.
I reckon that's out of fear for them because they catch up every year. They do a race day in honour of Maney, and I reckon if you lobbed out of shape, you just have a terrible day with them.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worthwhile showing up.
No,
yeah. They do seem like a tight knit group still, which is great. I'm not sure how often they catch up, but yeah, it's good. It was good to see him. As I said, it was a buzz having him down there.
Anyway, Duggo, back to yourself, mate. Last off season, big surgery for you.
Yep.
Probably, I know you like myself had a couple of clean-outs here and there, but this is probably one of the more serious rehab periods you had. How did you find it? Because obviously you end up missing the back end of last year because of it, and obviously we didn't finish the back end of last year, and probably how we started this year is reflective upon that. How did you find looking at that from afar and then getting yourself right and really working against the clock to get ready for the start of this year?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. My surgery was a bit different. We'd at the end of the year, once I sort of had pulled the pin on the year, we had a fair bit of time just to decide on what option we were going to go with, and we actually ended up going with a pretty new. I don't know if anyone else has had this particular part done.
The guinea pig.
Yeah, a little bit, but with good confidence by the end of it. So,
just a lot of Googling?
Yeah, that was just purely my research. So it was a bit daunting at the start, but it was something that needed to be done. And once we hit the 4-month mark, it was probably a little bit longer than we thought for me to get back. I thought it was going to be a 6-month straight thing. Started maybe looking like it was going to be 7, 8 to play. And then towards the end of my rehab, we obviously stuff hit the fan.
Out of need, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't need, sorry, out of necessity.
Out of necessity, I pretty much had to play against North Melbourne. So, yeah, got thrown in the deep end a little bit with my knee, but it's held up to the Medico's credit here and our S&C staff and stuff. They've been able to get me through most of the year pretty well unscathed, but certainly I was, I was unfit in a match fitness sense. I'd been running for a couple of months to the 3 months sort of thing. But
mate, I was watching him run around the oval a few weeks prior.
Thumb got me a couple of good sessions.
He was doing these solo runs around the main oval here at MRP and just looked like Thumper going for a run. Looked well out of shape because simply they were making him hit some targets that were pretty outrageous for how long his build.
Yeah.
And obviously they were trying to incline it pretty hard to get him back. And mate, did it feel like the hardest game of footy you had to play against North just because of that base that you then had?
It did, but probably a little bit more nervous than anything going in. Just I still didn't have the confidence in my knee. I hadn't played a little bit of match sim, maybe 1 or 2 sessions of match sim. I just hadn't had the confidence in my body up until that stage, and that's probably only really come the last few weeks, I'd say. It's been a little bit of a challenge, just feeling good again and stuff like that, and having the spring in the step. So it's taken its time, but yeah, it's all pretty sound in there now. But yeah, that was a couple of tough sessions there. But unfortunately, a lot of our boys have been going through. Aussie can attest. It's been too many of us on our own at times having to do these sessions.
Just spew corner in the right hand goalpost.
Yeah.
It's actually quite funny, the story of you getting up to play that game, because our last conversation before that game was you were 3 to 4 weeks off and you were playing 40 minutes in the waffle that weekend.
Yep.
And then obviously a lot of health and safety protocols came into place and actually removed the rehab group from the rest of the group just to mitigate, or a bit of a risk mitigation strategy. And then I'm turning on the TV. Is that Duggo out there? There's Duggo and 5 blokes I've never seen before playing for the Big Birds, and couldn't believe how it turned out.
We were meant to play East Freo, and I was going to play that week, but very limited minutes. And that game ended up being pulled because of our COVID numbers and maybe theirs as well.
Yeah.
Basically, Simo called me midweek and said, "Mate, are you pretty much right to go? And I said, I think
You're pretty much right to go.
I
go on.
think I am, and I knew I'd be okay. It was probably just proven to myself that I would be. So yeah,
I can't wait to look back on this in like 10 years' time. But remember when
bizarre.
we weren't sure if we were going to play on a Thursday when we were flying off because we thought everyone in the team would just get ruled out?
Yeah.
Does it trip you out a bit, Duggo? Like seeing the year that's kind of unfolded. I don't think we'll see it again in terms of a blend between the worst medical luck and COVID at the same time. And then sort of reflect on some of the media criticism that's come without kind of keeping that in mind, where you got some weeks you're picking from 23, 24 players that's never been seen before.
Yeah, it's definitely, you couldn't script this at all. I think the last 3 years have been all so random and just out of the ordinary. And this year probably quietened down a little bit on the travel side of things, and we're not hubbing and all this sort of stuff, but then all of a sudden COVID's actually here and it's taken us out. So it's just the injuries, the impact injuries at the start of the year I couldn't believe. Then COVID wanted to hit us in the first few weeks pretty hard. And it's still around. The flu's here now. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. So my big man Aussie isn't out there. He's coaching now, tucking in his shirt to his pants, and
I've copped a lot of
wearing
grief
Aaron
for
Williams
this.
to the game.
What about how you looking?
So I was working on the bench this week, and I've started working on the bench
for both games?
for home AFL games, and then
Or you
away.
might have charged a double rate this weekend.
Nah, and then away AFL games, I go to the Waffle and help out there when I can. But I was there for both this weekend. Anyway, so I've been told, mate, if you're going to be on the bench every week, you can't be wearing casual game shorts. Like, you need to start dressing up, so wearing your slacks and a shirt. And I went, all right, I'll do that, and put on my RMs, my slacks, my shirt, tucked in my shirt, put in a long sleeve underneath that, tucked that in as well, and then had my notepad. And then I thought I looked all right, like from all reports.
Did look good.
I thought I looked good. Duggo said to me, "You're the most handsome coach going around the league." I said, "Thanks, Duggo. Here's your $5." And then get to the game, and after the game, we're joking around the change room, and JK goes, "You look like such a dork." And then dweeb. Dweeb was the term he used.
Dweeb.
And then I was like, I was just a laugh and joke between me and JK, and whatever, that'll be it. And I get to the change rooms on Monday, and then everyone just starts calling me a dweeb for the whole day.
Ouch.
Yeah.
JK reenacting your
It was very
uniform
funny,
was
yeah.
quite good. Yeah.
For those that couldn't see it up live and personal.
Yeah, not very good.
There's a lot of people have written in, Duggo, to me. They wanted to ask some questions. Josh Naden hit me up personally at Thumperlicious, no problem. He wanted to know, and as a lot of people do on the socials, what's going on with the hair? Like, will it come back? The mullet? Oh, mate, inundated with the comments and questions. Clearly, you've tried something new again this year and it hasn't worked. Is it going to come back? Have you got like a calendar set? This is my cut for this year. What's going on in Duggo hairland?
No, don't know. The mullet's sort of back now. It's not the wild woolly mullet that I used to have 2020, but I think my head shape needs something at the back. I've got a very small sphere of a head, so I think I need something at the back just to fill that out a little bit, because I've got quite a thick neck.
You do. You're a very thick man.
Thick neck with a small head, so a little bit of hair probably just squares that up a little bit for me. I love just a shaved head.
That's my favourite look on you, shaved head.
Yeah, so that will be probably... That'll be back at some stage, but it's more down to laziness, to be honest, mate. Probably looking at my face and my hair, it's just
good
laziness.
answer.
Yeah.
So it's funny because we're about to do, like, the AFL have called a mid-season photo shoot for the AFL video game on Monday.
No.
Don't know if you boys know about that.
No, they
I
haven't.
don't know about that.
Telling you about it. So, like, aren't we all? So, like, I've got to get all of you in for 20 minutes and organise you. It's going to be an absolute riot.
So you're gonna love, everyone's gonna love you.
Yeah, Thumper. Yeah, Thumper. Could you doing this mid-year, Thumper? I'm like, am I making the video game? Am I? But anyway, so this is...
So there's an AFL video game coming out.
There always is, but like to time this, what is it, round 15? Any danger?
Yeah.
But like, this is the thing, is that some boys will go in with, Duggo could shave his head, and then by the time the game comes out, been like, oh man, you got no hair. Or like, it's just completely different by the time it comes out. Yeah, you never know.
You should do that.
Ooh.
Come peroxide hair and then shave it the next day.
I did wear red boots at training today.
Yeah, you are becoming very leery, mate.
Yeah.
Just shave a big D in there for Duggo for the shoot, and that's
Is
it.
your hairstyle determined upon your partner's acceptance of it? Because every time I get a haircut, my girlfriend thinks I look like an absolute idiot. Is Loz a bit more accepting of your...
Loz very much liked the mullet.
Yeah,
but I
right.
just cannot go back to the big full show.
Well,
Westy owns
been
it now.
there, done that.
Yeah. So that's me done with that one, I think. But it's getting longish.
Beautiful.
I want to know spare time, Duggo. You're an intriguing man. What are you doing in spare time? You got the two dogs.
I'm not becoming that guy, am I?
You're becoming bung, mate. No one knows what you do away from the football club.
Really?
You're becoming a bit secretive.
I better connect again.
You got the two dogs, so
Two dogs, yeah. Spare time. I actually spend a bit more time in the footy club now, probably with where my body's at. So day off, I am normally in the mornings. I'll be in here,
Extras.
trying to just make my body feel as good as it can.
What are you doing? You doing that acupuncture?
Nah, I'm not. Nah, that puts me out for 2 days. That stuff. Blokes can do that and get up and go on the next morning. Give me 2 days off after some needles, but
everyone's
they do
different
work.
in that area, aren't they?
They do
Also?
work.
Yeah.
Around the area or in the area of treatment.
Wherever you put them in on me, I'm like
no good.
Just like feels like I've done an injury once I pull them out.
Fascinating, yeah, right.
But yeah, 2 days later, I'll be good.
Mint.
But,
Okay.
So mate, I've been hanging out with Jamo and Truey a lot of late.
You and also Luke Shuey, the Forby crew.
Luke Shuey, the Forby crew. Luke Shuey is a new addition, and he has gone as hard as I've ever seen anyone go at it.
He's being way too vocal on the socials about the fact he's getting out of his house.
He's got himself a new Forby, and he's just letting it loose. But
he was telling me about it, and he was showing me the videos, and it was honestly like showing me his son's first birthday videos. Like, just had the most respect and awe for Zane True and his 4-wheel driving.
Yeah, we've got a great appreciation for some of it. Truey does give it. He gives it to his Hilux. You boys are bored by me talking about this.
I'll be honest.
I love it.
No,
I'm engaged, but I have also zero interest in doing it
Aussie
myself.
drives a Hilux, so
And it's never
join us, but
it's never gone off the freeway. I don't like taking it down.
He just needs a Corolla for what he does, so I'm not sure why you have it.
Mate, I had my original car was a little Volkswagen Golf.
That was good.
That was a good one.
They're fun to drive.
Were your knees coming up to your ears and that, or what?
No, it was beautiful, mate. It was elite. The sports model.
Great little car, yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way back. There's actually more room in that than the car I'm driving currently.
Classic.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
have there been any mishaps? You had to call for emergencies on these 4-wheel driving trips?
Nah. We've go out, get bogged, and have some fun, and get each other out. And nothing real serious. But
Where you going?
yeah, we're not that hardcore.
What destinations?
Oh, you go up the beach to Wilbinga and stuff in the summer, in the better months. But we went out and did some skids in the mud on a Tuesday night.
Love it.
Last
Skids
week.
in the mud,
Love
man.
it. Kids at heart, eh?
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's stuff. It's just good fun getting out and about and go out for a few hours. And,
Love it.
Yeah,
You're just a manly man, aren't you? My rainy Tuesday nights consist of playing PlayStation, rugged up in my blanket, cuddling my dog.
Chewy and Jamo are the cowboys. They are out 3 times a week. Those boys just about.
I love it.
So Jamo's not surfing as much anymore. He's just ditched the board for the car.
Yeah, I reckon it might be a bit easier sitting in the driver's seat and just flogging the accelerator. But
Fair point.
Yeah.
The only other question I wanted to ask you, Doug, is what are you listening to when you're driving? Are you a podcast man? It wouldn't shock me if you're like, oh mate, I'm a 94.5. Just give me the old 90s bangers. You know, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I'm. I normally have my I'll be on Spotify or something. Triple M would be my radio channel. I like
Just tunes.
but I'm actually listening to podcasts at the moment. I mean, I go into little phases of listening to podcasts, and then I'll be out of that and into music. And
What's tickling your fancy, mate? What do you like learning about?
I'm actually listening to, I think it's called Central Station podcast at the moment. It's about this girl goes out to a heap of different cattle stations and that in the outback and just talks to the pastoralists out there.
The Herons get you onto this one, did they?
No, they didn't. I'm trying to get Bunger onto it, actually. I'm not sure if he's into podcasts or not, but I have told him about it. But yeah.
Mate, he's still rocking a Nokia 6110, I reckon.
Yeah, you're probably right. We'll have to fax him it. But no, that's what I'm listening to at the moment. A bit weird, but it'll be a phase, and then I'll be back on me Spotify.
What are you doing? I listen to sporting podcasts, like the Bill Simmons podcast, the Ringer Network, Ryan Russillo show. Dougie's more about
I don't know any of those.
Duggo's more about broadening his intellectual mind, and I'm just more interested in keeping up to date with the current sports.
Either are good options for me.
You said one last question for Doug. I've got one more question for you, mate. I know it's early to be saying this because you've got another 10 years left in you. Ooh. But what are you thinking about post-footy, mate? It's a question that everyone tries to avoid and shape around. What are you thinking about?
But I do, been a little bit in and out with this stuff probably, and I've never really set myself up on one thing, but definitely this so agricultural side of things. I haven't grown up with it, I haven't grown up on a farm or anything like that, but I enjoy that and have had an opportunity to do some sort of work experience and be involved with with a big ag company. So something in that field one day I think would be really good, but I'm going to have to knuckle down at some stage and learn almost, from scratch. So I know it's a distance away, but hopefully I've got some time on my side to nibble away at that while I'm still playing, finish off my career.
You study, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You're a smart fella. I wouldn't bring you in here if you weren't.
Aussie's very, very clever man.
Yeah.
Not really. I think I'm overrated smart. But
Sure. But my point is, like, how many times the normal folk would get to a Sunday night and they're like, oh, man, I got that thing due, got the assignment due.
Yeah.
And then you crank it out. I always felt such empathy for the boys after an away game where, like, it's, might be just with rain and they've lost or whatever and they're on the plane home and then they're doing their uni on the way home after that.
I've got massive credit if you can do that. Like Hutchie on the planes.
Yeah,
he was
crazy.
Unbelievable at being able to get some uni done.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and I'm watching Peaky Blinders and I just couldn't put myself in that mindset.
After a game, man, I was knackered. I'm just walking around the stadium. They're running 20K.
It's funny that I feel like guys that have come from an unusual background into footy, so one that does it all the time, Connor West. So
you're talking about not coming in the system at 18 type
Yeah,
scenarios?
I'm saying not coming in the system at 18. You have a sense of reality about what football's like and how part-time it can be. So like
and what the real world's like.
Yeah, so like Westy studying full-time before he gets drafted, working full-time, gets picked up. Well, I'm still going to study. I'm still going to do that on my away trips. Clarkey does that. Hutchie obviously came in as a mature age player, was very delisted from a club. I think they have a better sense of, all right, not in a negative way, but this is the way things could go for me and this is how I'm going to look after it.
Yep.
We've actually got some fan questions for you, mate.
Oh, before we get there, we are going to get there. We got him for 15 more minutes and you go into a team meeting and then we'll break. Do you see Gaffey signing a cupcake in the race?
I also signed that cupcake. Where was my media street?
We're just trying to black you out.
This leads to a more interesting part about Duggo. No social media, mate. Of any kind.
Mate, is that why I wouldn't have seen this?
You wouldn't have seen this because this was all over the Facebook and Instagram.
This was a question from Isabel James. Where are you on the social media, Duggo?
Not on there at all. Yeah.
Why is that, mate?
I have amazing respect for you about this, by the way.
I jumped off it almost 3 years ago now.
Never looked back.
And just haven't felt the need to reactivate.
Is your missus on it?
Yeah, Lauren's on it. Yeah.
Do you live vicariously through her Instagram? Babe, can I borrow your phone and have a scroll?
I'm not like that. But if there's something interesting that Lauren feels that I should see, I will see it. But I definitely don't go looking for it. There's sort of just if there's something that Lauren thinks it might be of my interest.
What's the weirdest thing you've signed? Is it a cupcake?
Is this a PG-13 podcast? No, I'm only joking. I signed that cupcake, as I mentioned. I signed that cupcake first as well. I've signed.
Surprised you didn't eat it the way you're looking at the moment. I'm only joking.
Come on now.
Look at me, I'm a stick.
This podcast is just a whack me fest now. I used to. Kids always come up to you at school clinics and ask you to sign their hands and stuff. And their school, if you go to a private school,
or a school shirt.
Yeah,
I think they made the rule you can't sign clothing
or
anymore.
Or their blazers, and I was just like, man, I can just imagine my mum coming home and cracking the because my $100 school blazer is now ruined and I need to get another one. That's
so clothing's up there of the weirdest thing you've had to sign.
I've signed a car bonnet before.
Really?
It's up there, and that was at Subi on Kitchener Park. It was just parked up the top of those old stairs there, and
probably wasn't even their car.
Nah, just someone around.
But a lot of the boys are on it.
I actually had to sign a front. So people. So you got their phone. They ask you to sign your phone case.
Yeah.
I got someone to ask me to sign the front of their phone.
Righto.
So their phone is forever now ruined with my signature on it.
Couldn't think of anything worse. I saw something last week at training. Connor West was training without a shirt. Everyone else had a shirt on. Yep. Is this punishment for Westy, or is this a reward that he gets to train as the wild man he is?
It's a punishment. We've been doing. Simo's been getting us to line up of late and have a set shot for goal on your opposite foot. Worst kick, shirt off for gym.
How's your right foot looking?
You're a good right foot.
Yeah,
you just don't use it much.
I can get out of jail on it. Yeah, a lot of practice as a kid.
Gaffey can get out of jail, but he's not hitting many people.
You can't get out of jail.
You don't have to kick the goal. I've been able to kick the goals. It's not.
Is it a low bar compared to what everyone else is doing?
Just hit your foot. You'll be right.
If you score, you'll be okay. There's normally someone that'll put it out on the floor.
Hit your foot. That's all I'm asking.
I love it. Boys go back for their normal goal kicking routine though, and then as they get in and they might start their skip. Like the first
then
time
everything's out of
and then everything just like they on this big long run up. So like the second week we did it, it was like 4 steps.
One step,
crack.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just Westy punishment. Is it only ever shirt off?
Wow, it's only been a couple of weeks.
Jeez, we'll have to wait and see what we get to.
Yeah,
Right.
I hope it stays at shirt.
All right, fan questions. Go, Oz.
First question.
Do you want to read the questions? Are you sure you want that one? Do you want to read what the questions are before you launch into it, or are you happy with that one?
No, you do it. You do it.
All right,
You do that one.
all right. Well, you go another one for us.
All right, I'll start us off with Lexity Mant. Did you always play back or something you only started at AFL level?
Very little backline experience. I played my first year of under-18s as a backman and a tiny little bit of juniors just for a bit of fun every now and then. But yeah, that was more of my third year at the footy club was back. I was probably drafted as a backman. I was sort of, my draft combine group was like
You were with the
hybrid
backs?
back or whatever they called it back then. West Coast planned only to play me in the midfield and in the forward line, and just by 3 years into my career, or 2.5, I'd found myself in the back line. So last resort, and we threw me down.
Never got out of there, eh?
I've tried a couple of times, but not through choice of my own. But I've ended up in the midfield somehow, or and most years. But I'm always
The black hole, mate. Keep sucking you back in.
back down there.
I have no memory of you playing forward or centre or starting there at all.
Yep, it's because I didn't kick any goals when I was down there either.
No.
So
No.
yep.
A lot of fans want to know what club you supported in your junior days for AFL level.
Bulldogs fan. Yeah, mum and dad were from
Doggies.
close to the Footscray area, and big Bulldogs people, both sides of the family there, mum and dad. So
Did you care about the grand final result last year, or it's just so far in the rear view mirror?
yeah, it's so far in the rear view, but I enjoy watching the Dogs play because of sometimes the way they play. I think is quite an exciting brand, and obviously a lot of my extended family are still big Bulldog supporters, so it's exciting to see them when they're up and about and happy. But obviously last year wasn't the greatest finish for them. But yeah, it's surreal when you run out at Etihad and the Bulldogs song plays and they all run out, because you can see yourself sitting in the stands as a youngster, and you know,
It's awesome.
Where I used to sit, you look up and you're like, that's right, that's a familiar sound. But as long as we don't hear it after the game.
That's all good. I've got one here from Emily_Hone. Now, there's a caveat with this. Best memory at the club, but it cannot be the premiership.
Best memory at the club.
Yeah.
Oh,
There'd be a lot of them.
there has been a few. Best memory at the club. That is large.
Putting you on the spot here, but
Yeah. I think your first game is a really, you know, I wouldn't say important memory, but it's an exciting thing to look back on.
You weren't the day of the sub, were you?
I did debut as a sub, yeah. First 3 games were as a sub.
really?
Is that the tough one where like you're batting first drop in cricket and you're kind of hoping for a wicket, but yeah,
Well, yeah. The only thing is, I'm still obviously I'm quite close to Simon Tunbridge, and Tunners was the one that came off, subbed out with an ankle injury, I reckon, in my first game, and it was just pretty much the start of Tunners' like troubles with his injuries.
I was about to say the amount of times Tunners was subbed out was quite a few.
He never got a good run,
No.
I don't reckon, after that. So I'm sad that he gave me the chance, but I still remember that memory. Yeah, I remember that memory. It's a vivid memory. And
Did you win?
we won. JK kicked 10. I got to play against Chris Judd.
JK kicked
Oh, the Carlton game.
It was a fun day. Yep.
That's a pretty good first game.
We had an email in, asktheboys@wce.com.au. It is alive, this email address. This is from Maddie McMatmat, classic name. Wants to know if any of the older boys give out dating advice. Not to you, Duggo. You've been a taken man for a while.
Dating advice.
Would you have ever taken dating advice or romantic advice from the senior Eagles back in your early days? you reckon?
No way.
Yeah, nah.
Why is that? Some experienced, settled heads there on the marriage front.
Yeah, I just would not. I don't know. Run your own show in that that space, I reckon.
I reckon the older boys like who are married and have kids or whatever like to live vicariously through the younger players.
They
and
do
like,
a bit, don't they?
What do you do on the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like trying to get a midst of what's going on in society.
Yeah.
But
It's like stay out of it, yo.
yeah. I reckon they get disappointed when a first year comes in and in front of the group, it's like, do you have a girlfriend? And they're like, yes. Everyone's like, boo. Like, we want to see some boys rolling around town. So Campbell Chester's a favourite, right, for us at the moment.
Good looking rooster.
So where are you? Are you in the old group or are you in the middle tier?
I don't know what you call me. Yeah.
You're sliding
Probably
into the
middle.
older ones.
Probably middle.
Yeah, you'd be.
Yeah.
Would I be middle too? Probably.
Yeah, probably you to me is probably middle. I'd probably TB as well.
Yeah.
Well, the
yeah.
TB is a
Anything
father,
above.
yeah.
You'll be hanging on to that middle for a couple of years now, I reckon.
Well, you reckon you got one more in you?
Maybe, at best.
Yeah.
What, for middle?
Yeah.
Then you're in the old group.
Yeah.
26 at the end of the year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you'd
that'll be
be-
old in comparison to where the list
maybe,
is going.
Maybe.
Laura Abbott wants to know if you see yourself returning to Victoria when footy's all done. You got a WA missus though, which is the best news for us WA brother of keeping you here.
Yeah.
I've seen many good men go down and have to bow to the missus and the WA lifestyle, and I love it. Where do you reckon
WA's got a good retention rate of its even post footy.
Great agricultural areas here too.
Yeah, mate. It's a wide scape. No, definitely. I wouldn't definitely say no to it. Like I love Victoria. Victoria's still home, and all my family and friends are back there that I've grown up with. And one day definitely wouldn't be saying no to it. I'd love to go back and enjoy some time in Victoria. So pretty lucky though. I've got two pretty good places to choose from. So,
good way to look at it.
With support networks in both.
I've got one here from Charlotte B_14, and it is another area of intrigue with yourself. What music do you like to listen to, Duggo?
I like sort of surfy rock sort of stuff.
Nice.
Do like my older style music. Just Dad, and Dad's real big on his music and loves that 70s sort of 80s style stuff. And then I do enjoy country music as well.
Seems to be a common theme with the boys. There's a lot of hidden country fans in there.
Yeah, whenever I'm on the mic in the gym and I'm on aux and I'm playing whatever song I want, I remember in the preseason, Duggo came up to me and gave me a tap on the shoulder and said, "Mate, I'm loving what you're doing. Can you just mix it up a little bit? Far too much of rap and Drake, far too much going on for me."
I'm not into that massively.
Yeah, can you put a sing-along? And then I put on Country Road and a couple other crackers, which
Jakey
you really
Waterman
enjoyed.
loves that song.
Jakey Waterman here.
It's the kind of sway that Duggo has. He can get the music changed if he wants to have it. And thanks for joining us. You two have got to go to a meeting. We're going to pick things back up in the second half, me and you, Oz, where the talent really lies. Liam Duggan, mate, you're a legend for coming in off the bench.
Thanks, boys.
Appreciate
your time.
Been fun.
Welcome back. Oscar Allen, how's the team meeting, mate?
It was good, mate. We
solving all the world's problems?
We looked through training today and figured out how we're going to beat the Bombers this weekend. So
is that right?
Yeah, watch that. Watch your space.
What are you doing Friday night? What's your role?
I am on the bench, so I work on the bench. So I'm connected to the forwards.
Computer nerd.
Yeah, computer nerd.
Yep.
Connected to the forwards and the backs, talking with the boys on the bench and problem solving for the side.
What's the job you want more than that one? Or do you think you've got the most desirable position on match day now?
The original role I had of being in the coach's box and saying nothing and doing nothing was pretty cruisy. So things get heated on the bench. Guys are yelling, screaming, getting pissed off, which is whatever. And there's a lot of instruction coming through, and I've got to be the mediator of, all right, the coaches told me to tell him this. I'm not going to say that because he'll tell me to go stuff myself. So I'm actually going to say this, and you kind of filter the messages through, which is...
It's an art form, man.
Yeah, I think it's actually something that the players enjoy with me being there. So someone who can kind of relate to recently been playing and still playing, what they'd want to hear. Oh, mate, you know what I'm trying to do here? Like if someone says a message like, tell them stop hitting that kick, I'll just go, mate, just keep hitting that kick. let's stick at it. But yeah, it's enjoyable.
Well, you know the bench though. Like you've seen the bench,
yeah.
But you don't get to see upstairs. So I'd imagine you want to be back up there going, this is new, foreign, and I'm learning a bit more up here.
It is interesting, but I'm not really associated with the group when I do that. Like I'm not communicating with them or having anything to say with them directly. So me doing that on the bench, I have a good feel of what's going on, how the players feel, and then on Mondays I present to the boys. So I run the meeting on Mondays.
All squad?
Whole squad and coaches.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm running the meeting. So,
are you prepping that hard Sunday night? Because you're doing stuff all for this podcast. So, is your Sunday night planning is going there? Is it?
I get in early Monday morning, and for a couple of an hour and a half, 2 hours, put all the clips together, and then figure out how it's going to run.
Sick.
Yeah, no, it's actually been a good learning curve of what being a coach is like.
Sure. And that interests you a little bit?
At a very light degree. Like, let me preface, I do stuff all compared to a lot of other people at this club in prep, reviewing of the game. They kind of just give it to me and say, present it how you want. And then I put my own flavour on it.
Put some gags in there?
Which is generally something I'm good at. Yeah, I put a couple gags. Every week I whack someone. So, particularly in the waffle review, I go around whacking blokes.
You should have a name for it,
whack of the week?
Yeah. That'll work.
Trademark it.
Okay, so we're a dog's breakfast because we've had Duggo in here.
Correct.
Such a quality form from you when I texted and said, mate, I got no one under the pump.
Duggo.
And you were like, mate, I got Duggo. He's keen. And you said he's keen.
I said, Duggo, he's keen, and then got no response. And then saw it on the Instagram this morning saying, here's Liam Duggan, ask questions for Liam Duggan. I was like, okay. So it went over the line.
Here's your response. I bloody love you.
Yeah, no, Duggo, I'm the player's advocate. Guys want to get in this podcast. I'll tell you what.
I don't believe it because I've done it for so long where I've had to, ring them up and they're blocking calls and they're dodging me in hallways. So this is foreign.
Business is booming to the fact where guys are stiff at me and are like bagging out the potty because I haven't had them on. So guys are on the potty. So Jakey Waterman, for instance, Jake Waterman here, is bagging me out. He's like, yo, the shotty. Like, yeah.
Piece it together.
Shoddy.
Yep.
And I'm like, mate, you're just saying that because you're not on it. He's like, I can get you on if you want, mate, but you need to present something.
Well, he had one of his best games on the weekend, would you say?
I would say. We might as well touch on it. He played a really important role. He was playing a bit of a defensive role on Tommy Stewart and did it really, really effectively.
He kept him to 6 touches to half time or 5 maybe.
4.
There you go.
4 to half time. The second lowest he's had in his career in a half.
Wow.
And then
he scored.
Kicked 2 goals and had 16 himself. So I think they both ended up on 16. Bit of a shake hands. We both did our job, but I thought Jake was really important for us.
That's a hard one, I'm assuming, Oz, is that despite how well he played the role might not be there every week depending upon your opposition. And that would be a hard one when you nail a role and you're like, it might not be a constant.
Yeah, most of our roles are structurally, so it's kind of the same week in, week out, but this was more a specific player stopping a play, and we actually don't do that very often. Like, since Hutch left, we don't really have anyone that's tagging. It's very rare we have someone who's, all right, your job today is to stop X.
And we've been chasing leads as well.
Yeah, so it's not really like... And we're also about development at the moment, not necessarily doing little things to win games individually, which to the fans might sound counterintuitive, but if we're trying to play a brand of football, it's important we stick to that, win, lose or draw, to try and build an identity around the club.
It was a massive week. We touched on it very briefly with Duggo around the 1992 celebration. So the boys have had a crack. They had the Thursday night dinner here at MRP.
Yep.
Then they rolled that into a Friday lunch at Crown. And then it was Saturday in the extravaganza around the game.
Correct.
From an interaction point of view, trying to blend that group and the new current as well, we obviously had Tommy Dean Kemp present the jumper to Rhett Bazzo. I think he previously wore that number when he was called out. Oh, they called him out some wrong name as well. It wasn't Dean Kemp on draft night. It was something... Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I can't remember the name. That's a poor effort from me. But it was
Dan Kemp?
No, I don't even think it started with D. It was out there. I'll get that for you next week. Anyway, so he got up and presented the jumper. He spoke well by all reports. They don't let Thumper into these meetings?
I wasn't there, mate. I was doing a swim.
Classic.
Yeah, so I wasn't invited either. So it was great.
Really chugged on the heartstrings.
It went really well.
No, but that was quality form to get him in.
And then we had the big freeze.
Yeah. So before we get to the big freeze, do you know who was dunked and what the scenario there was?
I do, and I had some feedback personally to myself from one of my roommates.
Go on.
So
not the missus?
No, not the missus.
Smudge.
Smudge. So Sam Kerr, Barra and Swanee were the 3, but it was supposed to be Whoosh, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So it was supposed to be Whoosh, Barra and Swanee.
Could you...
How do you get Sam Kerr, who is the biggest name by 3, and she's the late in? Like,
unreal.
That is just... Yeah, crazy.
Sums are up, though, like getting a call at the 11th hour. I remember when they found out Whoosh had it was honestly Thursday morning or Wednesday night. So 4 days prep.
Yeah.
And to call Sam Kerr.
And how's she in the town?
Not just that, but it's like, yeah, I'll drop everything and get dunked into ice cold. Like, it's not a pleasurable experience.
Well, why was she not targeted in the first place? It's like,
that's an even better question.
No disrespect whatsoever.
But to Barra.
But she's the biggest name of all of those.
I think Barra trumps her.
Anyway.
Couldn't agree more, and it was so quality for her to say, yeah, I'll jump in. She was in the Spider-Man kit if you didn't see it.
Yeah, it was good. I was watching when I was supposed to be at quarter, half and 3/4 time mingling with the boys. I was getting around it, but also had an eye glued to the scoreboard. The feedback I got from Smudge was, what the hell were you doing? You didn't have time to jump in? The fans would have loved that.
They would have.
And I thought... How
do you reckon the coaches would have gone with, is Oz here to present? Like,
yeah, he's running the half-times.
He's having a 20-minute warm shower.
Mate, I do very little, but someone else could do the role on game day. It's actually really inclusive of the coaching staff in the club. Like, there's always someone who generally can do that role.
Sure.
So I think it's them more doing me a favour than the other way around, if that makes sense.
It's nice to be integrated within it and keep stimulated and be part of it.
I do like to, my ego's telling me I do give some sort of advantage. True or not, that's just what I like to tell myself.
Do you get good feedback from your prezos on Monday?
Yeah, the boys love it.
Then, isn't that doing your part?
How's Xavier O'Neill tried to give me a drive-by whack saying, so this is what we talk about when we're yada, yada, yada. So I always start with, this clip. This is what I'm talking about when we say.
Do they all know you're taking the mickey out of O?
No, I'm being serious.
Oh, right. I thought you were putting it on.
No. This is how I roll. This is how I roll present to the boys.
I like it.
And I do a good job of it. And I'm confident in that.
Excellent.
But X tried to give me a whack saying, "Oh, you always say this." And then one of the coaches, Kyle Horsley, comes past and he goes, "You ever heard Winston Churchill's 'The Man in the Arena' quote?"
Go on.
And he's like, "X, you're the critic. You're not in the arena. Shut up." I was like, man, that's great. Have you heard the quote?
No.
I'll have to go through that next week. It's terrific.
So going back to 92, I cannot believe Woosha, of all people,
the big dog,
he's been obviously healthy for so many weeks, and to have it come on the eve of the 3-day celebration was brutal. But what we did was we wrapped up our filming for History Makers Oz. So this is the 1992 podcast.
So he got it done?
We got him done a fair few weeks ago. He was the second to go. So what's happening? We're releasing them every Thursday or maybe even Friday. And
have they started releasing them already?
Yes, we've had the first episode done. It was the match committee. So Tim Jepp, Robbie Wiley, Ian Miller, and the big Niz Dog coming in and discussing everything kind of behind closed doors, from string pulling, match committee. It's good. So different flavour.
How open are they about this? Because I have genuine intrigue. Obviously, it was 30 years ago, right? 30-year celebration.
Yeah.
I wonder how many stories are actually revealing the truth of it.
Yeah, so...
If you know what I'm saying.
Of course I do. So when I finished filming, who was in that one? It was Summer, Carl Langdon, Tony Evans and Paul Harding. So the theme, as if people are starting to guess, is we're getting small collective groups of the boys that played. We're missing about 5 from people who live on the eastern states. We couldn't get them over. So that included Roo, Bluey, Pikey, Chris Lewis couldn't
Couple
get there.
Big names.
Yeah, they're big uns. But what we did, we've got separate interviews from them and we interject their comments, and we'll do... I think you guys as a group saw the Peter Matera story.
That was great, yeah.
So the Peter Matera story's up there. We grabbed Roo and we take some comments out and then we make a bigger video piece.
That was awesome. If I'm serious, listening to this, go on the Instagram, find it, or Facebook, wherever you want to look. West Coast website, that is a great watch. 7.5 minutes you will not regret.
Well, the fact that Simo, amidst the 92 celebration, said, let's have a watch of this together, spoke volume, and it was quite heartwarming on the fact of our team produced it and was quote unquote used as inspiration for you boys. So it's great. Anyway, when I got home after doing the Carl Summer app, Carl texted me and was like, all good? I was like, I don't know. I haven't even checked the recording. But anyway, and I texted him back. I was like, yeah, it was all mint. Mate, couldn't have gone better. Loved it. And he just texted back and went, mate, that was the PG version. Or it was just texted back and goes, we'll save the real stories for another day. So despite the fact that they gave me enough, you just obviously knew, you know, man.
You never share the things. The funniest things that Thumper and I talk about, I quickly turn off the mics.
Yeah, you do.
It's just the way that the world works, and it's just
don't want to be on the back of the West, do we?
It's everyone. Yeah, unfortunately, I find myself there enough as it is for bad reasons, being injured and overall useless. There are funny stories. It's like any business, right? Behind closed doors, the really juicy conversations happen that no one else hears about. Yep. So
a lot of the stories are brilliant just because they've just aged terribly. Like they tell yarns about getting blind on the plane on the way home and going straight from the plane to the club in their tracksuits. And just those types of things that don't exist today. We will touch on the Hungry Jacks Waffle Report a little later, the curtain raiser, the Subiaco game, but let's just talk Cats. I mean, that was, Duggo talked about it. You always want to win. You don't just want to hang your hat on the fact it was an admirable loss and we played some of our better footy. Reality is Geelong are a very good side. Yep. They're in the 4 for a good reason.
Correct.
There were a lot of, I'm assuming the review was more positive than other weeks, and then you sat down and kind of went through the vision?
It was, yeah. Well, I think there was just more actions and behaviours shown of what we want to see more consistently. And I mean, I do hope that the fans at home aren't getting too disheartened by the 1 in 12, 1 in 13.
It's our worst record to a season to date, yeah.
It is, but I hope you're not getting too disheartened, because if you watch it, I firmly believe on the weekend you'll have belief in the direction we're going as a footy club. And within the playing group, myself, I have really high belief of what we're going to be able to achieve as a group. But this is just a growing pain, and I'm excited to be able to see what can happen. This isn't me, and you'll hear it after we've touched on with Duggo. We're not happy about losing. Don't get that twisted. But it's a really improved performance, and our contest work against one of the best contested sides going around was terrific.
Remember, I'm going to play Duggo at the start?
Yeah, Duggo at the start. You guys have already heard that.
So, that is true. We've never done this in chronological order, though, but I think we're ranked 16th in the competition for mark play-ons.
We are?
Yes.
That's a good stat.
And it seemed more evident from a Nuff point, watching from home point of view, that, I mean, you're always looking corridor. Corridor is always your first option, but there seemed to be a concerted effort to want to move the ball, play on, take more risk, look corridor at all costs. And if it's not there, it's not there. And if you can't play on, but it just seemed to be more of a concerted effort. You don't need to go anywhere with your match tactic hat on there, Oscar.
I just want to make one observation. I think guys look at mark play on as in that leads to more corridor. I think the corridor is actually a byproduct of more mark play on, because if you play on, the ground's bigger and you're spreading it, so then they're
catching them without their zone
then
setup,
there is more space in the corridor. So I think that's a byproduct, not necessarily we're going to the corridor. It's just we're just going to move the ball a bit quicker, and then that leads to that.
There was a few missed opportunities. I felt for Petch, the two set shots that Petch missed. Geez, he kicked a great roving goal.
That was good, yeah.
It was one of his better goals of his career, but the two set shots he missed, it went the other way and they goaled automatically off it. And I think they scored 5-1 from goals in the third, and that accuracy just kills you. And that set the lead up for him to cruise home in.
They did, but also being realistic, there were two shots in that third quarter they kicked out of bounds on the full. So
this is good. This is why I got you in here.
Yeah, they were accurate, and you can look at the scoreboard and say, "Oh, we missed scoring shots," which is true. We did miss opportunities.
They had way more scoring opportunities.
I do think the result probably was a fair representation of where the game was going.
Yeah, done. So let's talk about your great man Gov.
Javner. Yeah, in hospital, big fella. I think he might be out by now, hopefully. I'm not sure.
Well, we're recording this on a Tuesday afternoon. Touch and go. I think we were reported in a medical statement that he might have surgery today. It was either last night or today. Yeah, there you go.
Surgery last night. So he had a plate inserted in his ribs.
Well, I asked someone at the lunch table today, and he said, "Don't quote me on this, but I absolutely am." And I was like, "What are they going to do? Are they going to drill the plate into the rib cage?"
Yeah, underneath it, eh?
Is it underneath? Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. And that's to stop any further damage to the lungs?
Your best guess is mine.
Okay. We're doing the medical report now, so we'll see where that comes. But eerily similar to that 2018 that you got, though.
Thoughts are with Governor. The crazy part is he was probably worse in 2018 and he got up to play the next week. So that shows what a tough MF he is.
Well, this is the hard one is, the season, I'm not going to say it's lost because there's plenty to gain.
Yep.
There's momentum, there's development, but Gov doesn't need to develop more.
No.
Gov's peaking right now.
Yep.
Are you really going to rush him back to assist the back line when you've got someone like Rhett Bazzo, where you can see more out of Harry Edwards? They'll play a more conservative approach than what they have to if we're floating around 9-10, 7-8.
This is another conversation that we haven't had to have as a football club. And I actually was speaking to Alex Witherden about this the other night. He was drafted to Brisbane, and all of a sudden it became, with 4 weeks to go in the year, any injury, is that me done for the year? Because there's no chance of playing finals, and it's a conversation I haven't had to be a part of at any stage since I've been at this football club.
Remember last year though?
The last round.
Yeah.
It was. But we could still win that game and finish 8th if results went our way. So It wasn't completely to this extent.
TB had to step up in a big way, guarding the big Tomahawk, who went on to kick 700 goals. And
Congratulations.
Big time. I hear he's a ripping fella. That helps.
Yeah, he bagged me once.
What did he say?
Oh, he's just... I don't know. I was having
How are you coming across him?
Well, I was having a set shot, and he was like, looking yourself on the big screen, you big...
Were you?
Yeah, duh. Nah, but I was looking at myself to see the timer, because it's got like a 30-second timer, and I was like, right, I can start walking in now.
Great sledge, though.
And then after the game, I was like, shook his hand, and I was like, thanks, mate. Like really enjoyed watching you play. Went, cheers, and walked off. I was like, oh...
Not good enough.
Not a fan of the big O. Cheers.
I reckon so many of those goals were against us in clutch times. He's really buried West Coast in a few outings.
He's a gun, eh? He's a gun.
That really opened the door for more Rat Bazzo time, though. So I think he ended up playing about 82%, and I wonder if he would have been around that mark if Gov hadn't gone out.
I reckon he would have been. I'm not sure.
Big percent. He played more than a lot of midfielders.
Yeah, I reckon you generally find your key backs do play more than midfielders, particularly with Yowie was on limited minutes, and I think Jermaine Jones has been out for concussion as well.
You see how much Yowie played then?
How much did Yowie play?
He was near 85%.
So I reckon that's the person that would have been changed, not Baz.
Yep.
Also, 2 Bazes now, which is funny.
It's terrible. Didn't he? Oh, there was another nickname clash as well, wasn't there?
So their first day said, introduce yourself, and Jack Williams gets up and goes, Jack Williams, what's your nickname? Willow. And Bailey Williams' nicknames are Baz and Willow. And he's like, and everyone's cheering, like getting into Bailey Williams' face. And then he goes, Rhett, what's your nickname? Oh, Baz. And everyone just goes crazy. That was actually the best part of our social media.
Yeah,
that was
a good one.
Yeah.
So what are you calling them now? What's the different names?
I actually call him Ratisium. He was trying to tell everyone his real name's Ratisium, so I start calling him Matisse Thibel. Don't ask.
Okay, so he fronted the media as well, Rat. Spoke really well.
Really? What do you have to say?
Well, let's have a listen.
It was a bloody wicked experience. It was just an awesome day. The 92 boys were there and there's a few famous faces in the change room. So, it was just an awesome experience that I won't forget anytime soon. I think we played a better brand of footy and something we can really build on, hopefully. Bring that into this week against Essendon. I feel like the boys just felt a lot better out there and we knew we were competitive, the crowd was in it, and it was just awesome to be out there playing in it. Yeah, good experience playing on a few boys like Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins, and I feel like it was be good for my development and just awesome to get a taste of AFL footy.
I didn't know he had the ability to speak like that, the big fella. We might have to get him on the podcast sometime soon.
Was a 4-minute press conference though, so talk about your
4
T20.
minutes?
Yeah, T20 press conference. I remember when Woosha was up against it in the Spoon era, he had a presser that went for 27 minutes.
I reckon my pressers, I actually haven't been put up in front, no kidding, for a while, but I did a presser after my first game that went for 12, 13 minutes.
Well, you know why? Eric McKenzie had the same thing. He was like, give them nothing and they'll stop asking questions.
Yeah, I need to stop feeding them. But I do remember after I re-signed last year, my first question was, did you give up money to stay at West Coast? And no matter what the answer is, if I say yes, it's he's had big offers elsewhere. And if I say no, it means the club stiffed him.
Didn't want to plead the fifth?
And I went, we're both happy, mutual agreement. And then I should have, in hindsight, look at the report and say, are you happy with what you're getting paid by?
Would you have the courage to ever go back?
Mate, if I was a senior player, if I was Redo now, say Redo re-signs or whatever, and then they were like, did you give up money to stay here? Or how much did you give up money to stay where you're working?
Not even Scully. Scully was the only other person where I thought he could ever do it, and you're next in line. It just would take such cojones to go back at a journo.
It would kill you need to be towards the end of your career because that'd kill the relationship.
Yeah.
Or
It just because they only play, they
just play devil's advocate, right?
Well, they could just take stuff out of context and leave stuff out, and then if they just keep the stuff in of you, whatever, they might not have their question in there, but then they've got you firing up, and you look a bit like a bit of a twat. But anywho, so who are your votes? Who are you 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1. 3, Jake Waterman. I actually thought he did a really good job for the side. 2, Jack Redden. I think he's actually head and shoulders above in the Whoosh medal now. Sounds crazy to say, but consistently playing really often. And 1, I'm going to give to Yowie.
You're not going to give TB in the votes here?
Well, this is a problem we haven't had to have. We had 3 guys. So, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with Yowie.
Don't be swayed by me.
The man hasn't played in pretty much 3 years consistently and
Can't grade it off of
I know, but it comes in, plays a really important role, has some huge one-on-ones, 11 rebound 50s, highest of his career. And
see the one in the fourth where he sidestepped at centre half back. It was mental.
And then mongrel to kick, but got it back.
He did mongrel it. Kicked it off his left, maybe.
Yeah, he loves kicking off his left.
But he was quick to remind me of his All-Australian year where he was coming off half back. Right?
He should stay there, in my opinion.
He's a pretty handy bull in the.
I reckon he's better at half back. Crazy. I reckon he's so important there.
Did he win one of the Woosha medals off half back?
No, he was a midfielder for both of them.
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
No, sorry, 2017. He was half back. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
But
he's got some good players at halfback.
I want to give special mentions to Tom Barrass and Jamie Cripps. Both played really good
rated
games.
Cripps game, yep, 100%. JK led the team for pressure acts and score involvements.
Is that a blue moon? That's how rare it is. For the pressure acts, not score involvements.
They're not. They wouldn't be related, would they? You're not going to get a score, assist, or score involvement for your pressure act?
No.
Okay.
Unless it leads to a direct turnover, but that's unlikely.
Just checking.
A lot of pressure acts are implied, not physical.
So with Tim Kelly's late out,
it
actually opened the door for Jackson Nelson to come in and play 100 games.
It did, and it was interesting because I was speaking to him early this week and he was like, I flew my family over. And Simo on the front foot told him early in the week, mate, you don't think you're playing? And then he's like, oh, typical. I've flown my family over.
So when did he make that call? Sunday or Monday? And then spoke to Simo Tuesday?
Yeah, well, they would have just been coming over.
Oh, weeks in advance thinking, I'm a chance.
Yeah. And then, funny how it turns out he ends up being a late inclusion and Petch played game 50, so big achievement for both of them, probably bigger for Jacko. That's terrific. Someone that's probably been on the fringe for for a period of his career and is probably one of those yo-yo players that has dealt with a lot of adversity. So congratulations to him and Pecci, hopefully just getting started.
100%. So Bombers, Friday night, the 6-day break, that'll have some up against it. Hoping that, Yowie and Sheeta pull up well because they're coming off limited minutes and game prep.
Yeah, I hope so. It is an interesting one, 6-day break. People feel this way or that way about it. I reckon a lot of the younger players generally like 6-day breaks.
That's what Simo said, yeah.
And it often leads to an 8-day break after that. So, yeah.
Okay, so handy. It's going to be good weather, so I want to see a great turnout.
It is?
Optus Stadium. Yeah, man.
Cool.
It's no rain.
Fan get there. I reckon we're a red hot sniff.
I think so. Although I've been to, I'm sure many fans have, there have been a couple of Bombers games at Optus where they've tore us up when we've been heavy favourites on the home deck. So
yeah, 2 of which, one in 2018 and one the last year I got knocked out. I tried to take a hang last time I do that.
Yeah, that was a nasty one. Big head dunk on the ground, eh?
Yep.
So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Anyway, Friday night, get there if you can. Waffle Watch, courtesy of Hungry Jack's. Got a grilled chicken burger on the weekend. There was no bacon deluxe.
Nah, bacon deluxe is the GOAT.
Yeah, it's because it's got that much meat in it. But anyway, the chicken, it did. But Hungry Jacks, get around to it. Subi too strong on Optus Stadium. Gee, the boys went inaccurate. So Subi have gone 14-6-90 to 8-14-62. They've had more scoring shots, down by 28 points though, Oz.
Yeah, this is, when you talk about missed opportunities against Geelong, this is the game for West Coast on the weekend, which really killed us. We should have beaten, in my humble opinion, Subi. I thought we were really good on the day. They're the reigning premiers. They're probably not the side they were.
No, they're not in the 4 at the moment.
No, but we matched them around the contest and some really individual efforts from guys that were special on the day.
So who'd you like the most? Are we talking Witho 32? Because a few of those stats are always going to be miscued when you're kicking out from fullback.
Yeah, Witho 32 and 16 marks. He actually wasn't kicking out from fullback because he'd sit in the pocket and then Harry Edwards would dink it to him, so we get the mark and the kick. Smart from the fellas.
We had a heap of marks compared to Subi, so I'm guessing some kind of tactic of ball control and movement around the back half to find your avenues.
Well, when I was coaching last week against Claremont in the Waffle, we did that, so we had 50 marks a quarter time. So it definitely was...
So many marks.
Yeah, and 45 uncontested. So it definitely was a type of mode we went into, but most impressively, I thought Rothy. So Rothy...
Mate, what a game from Rothy, hey?
First game ever in the ruck, and he has like 30 hitouts, 20-odd touches, sets up a couple goals.
Against Delahunty, who can play.
He's a Sandover medalist. Mm-hmm. He's pretty good. It probably helped Roth in a certain extent because Delahunty's not a tap ruckman. He's a follow-up.
He's a fifth midfielder, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but mate, like how many taps did he have that directly resulted in shots on goal?
He'd have great hit-outs to advantage numbers. And then my man, Jai the Guy, really showing something in his second game. He seems like a bit of a stat stuffer. So 20 touches, 6 marks, 5 tackles, 6 inside 50s, couple of points, and a couple of direct goal assists.
Yep.
Which was really good to see.
Well, of course, fans might not know he's coming off a shoulder injury that he sustained earlier this year, so he's still getting back to full fitness and only played limited game minutes. So if you're checking out Cully, first game, West Coast Waffle, you'd have been underwhelmed by his stats, but kind of still coming off, finding his feet at the top level, playing with men, but of course getting back to full fitness and full health as well. Whole bunch of single goal kickers. It's South Fremantle on Saturday night.
Saturday night, get here to MRP so you can watch it Friday night, the Big Birds, and then MRP, the Little Birds on Saturday night. Interesting scheduling, great for everyone to be able to come and watch.
I don't think we've beaten South Freo since we've been a West Coast Waffle team as well.
No.
So the best news about this is what, Oz, when you're playing Saturday night and AFL's on Friday?
Couple of beers after the game.
Everyone will get a game, bro.
Oh, so everyone gets a game is the best part.
I love where your head's at, though.
Yeah, everyone gets a game.
Yeah, so anyone that got held out, now that's the worst part, is when you're travelling as emergency to sort of sub or whatever.
Well, it's the worst part. You're almost like, if you're without the sub rule in the past, like you were the 23rd man was the emergency, but now more have to be carried over.
I know.
Because the sub carries over and then an extra emergency, so 24 rather than 23 carried over.
It kind of brings us to the end of the podcast. I've got a lot of discussion points here. Thanks everyone for their emails into Ask the Boys. I'll get to them another week. But we'll tackle one of these issues and we'll save another for other weeks.
Okay, go.
The first one I want to hit with you, Oz, is I think one of the worst rules in footy now is when someone's on the mark and the person with the ball's going back and then you can run past with an opponent in tow and then you split to go right and then if your opponent splits to go left, that's now a 50-metre penalty because you are, quote-unquote, in the restricted zone. Is that one rule that you would love to see rectified in the off-season?
It's a really good question, mate.
You're aware of this rule, though, right?
Yeah, of course I'm aware of this rule. The rule isn't in place for this, but so funny little side story to give you context. So whenever umpires they go to every club in the preseason and they present the new rules. They say, boys, ask away any question you want and we'll answer it to the best of our ability. And
you're always going to be very active in these meetings as well.
And umpires don't make the rules. They're told the rules by the match committee and then they implement them. So and then Simo goes to us and goes, how do we ruin this for the game? How do we ruin this rule for everyone?
With the umpires in the room?
Yeah, with the umpires. Right. How do we stuff up the game so we can get the best competitive advantage? And that's all that's happening. Like, the rule wasn't implemented for these exact plays, but to the letter of the law, it's a 50-metre penalty. You have to follow through. So
it's clearly a tactic what they're doing, and it's paying off, and it shouldn't be rewarded for it.
It's interesting when you talk about AFL adjudication of rules, because all of a sudden dissent is no longer as important because guys are waving their arms again, which I have no real feelings towards, negatively or positively. It just is what it is. AFL footy, more than any other sport in the world, there's a changing of rules compared to any other sport. Like the rules in soccer, rugby, cricket, tennis, water polo, they're all more consistent than the amount of change in the rules of AFL.
They're all tweaking, but they don't tweak it as hard as AFL.
Well, they don't make new rules. Like AFL makes new rules.
Yeah.
And though they don't.
Yeah, they do in NFL and they do in NBA, but they're just minor tweaks. They're minor tweaks.
Yeah, but they're tweaks in terms of like reviewing plays and not actually affecting their decisions on field. And
we see the one they made in NBA this year about like the drive to the basket and the foul, and James Harden didn't have as good a year because that significantly detracted from him. So they are tweaking off the back of not people exploiting the game or not stuff that's not visually appeasing to the audience.
Yeah, correct. But they're also probably a little bit more consistent with it. So throughout the season, it's the exact same. AFL's round 1 to 5. Anyone doing any dissent is 50. Like, we're whacking them. Then round 5 to 10, we're whacking in the back. If you fall on his back, it's a free kick, even if it's to the side. And then now it's, we're whacking them for 50 if they run across the side. And
I'm torn on it all because I'm glad they went back off the dissent. So I'm almost glad. If they're going to introduce these rules and then realise they've had a blue and that they're rectifying it, I'd rather that than just go, this is the 23 round, we'll cop it.
Take it out the rule book. I don't want to, I don't know, it's just confusing for the players, and I think a lot of players are confused.
Yeah. So Ozzy and I had some great talks there. And
I'm not sure if you hear many of them.
I think most of them had to be cut, but come pull us up at the coffee shop pub. We'll have a yarn to you about it.
Yeah, if you say...
Don't get the dictaphone out.
If anyone comes over to me and says in the street, Oscar, what topic did you talk about on Coast to Coast this week that was aired? It sounded like there was a little bit of a jump skip, and I couldn't understand what you were quite saying.
It's a bit out of context.
Turn your phone off. You and me will have a quiet conversation.
I'll throw this one at you then. Yeah. Are you happy with how the bye rounds are situated? Do you like the fact that you share a round and there's still footy on every weekend, or do you just want one weekend where it's just a total blackout, the broadcaster cops it, and then you got 9 games for the remainder of the 22 rounds?
I like it. I like the bye rounds like this. Like, teams get a bye. I think they do a really good job of scheduling it. It'd be a nightmare to do, but they do a pretty good job of it. It's just the way it is.
I do too. I prefer there being footy every weekend and you thin it out.
And from
who's watching 9 games of footy every weekend?
Yeah, I know. Me. But from a selfish perspective also, it allows the players to get paid more because there's more revenue for every single week being played. So that leads to players getting paid more and clubs getting paid more money flowing around the
But you're still
AFL
playing
world.
as many games though, right?
Yeah, but there's no dead time for the TV.
Right.
For the TV rights, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But we'll wait and see. The new CBA is being negotiated this year. So a lot of the issues we talk about that you guys don't hear, a lot of these will come to light because our new CBA for the players is out at the end of this year and we'll have to renegotiate. So these things like rule changes, buys, the new clubs, sub rule.
Are you involved in any of this?
Yeah, so I'm a delegate for West Coast. So every club has 2 AFLPA delegates.
Who's the other?
Alex Withen. Yeah, okay. Witho. So I've got to be careful what I can say.
Yep.
But
how often are you meeting to discuss those things?
Oh, rarely. I mean,
once a month or not?
Yeah.
And
every club delegate has a state rep manager. So we've got one that we share with Freo. So all of our contact goes through him. But if we feel really strongly about something, or if JK comes up to me and goes, mate, I feel really strongly about this, I'll contact the head of the AFLPA, so Murph or whoever it may be.
Yep. That's awesome. I'd love to be I would find a great deal of pride within that, to be shaping the game to a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, how much they listen to you, who knows?
Yeah, it's just like a normal business operation and guys think football is just a sport, but it's our livelihood, and it's something that's really important to the fabric of Australian culture, I believe. And you might think that's a load of, but that's my personal opinion, and we got to get it right.
I love it, Oz. Mate, your time is precious. To a degree.
Thank you.
But I'm glad you spent it here in the afternoon in the studio. And for the fans out there, thanks for tuning in. Keep sending in your podcast questions to the guests next week. Unless you've got someone lined up. Lukey Edwards passed me on the stairs and was keen.
Of course he was. This is a podcast to be. Luke Edwards it'll be. Right. Another man on the long-term injury list. It could be a depressing episode talking about our sad feelings, but stay tuned. Any questions, hit us up.
Cheers.